Dobbo, just your thoughts. I see it's Warwick's 50th, and it's quite interesting because him being such a key player for you, if you could just verbalise what it's meant for you and the team, and then just on that as well, were you surprised about the way that he's kind of fallen off the Springbok radar?
No. Listen, he was up there with probably this guy and Kutz, who's our MVPs, and winning that first URC. I mean, I just feel like the 15's got to have real X factor and got to be our game model. It's got to be able to break things open. There's nobody better than Warwick. And what I also respect about him is he's got this amazing rugby brain. You can just see a game. He knows what's going on in a game. And I think what people don't appreciate, they see the no-look pass or the ball going down, but stuff like positional play and game intelligence, and until Branders is back now, sort of changed, but he had the most steals. He had the most steals in the team. So he's everything. He's perfect. He's physically committed, knows his detail. He's a different guy, but he's almost prides himself on that. He changes in the broom cupboard at HPC, and it's just part of Warwick. Warwick's Warwick. So he's been we really missed him in that second year. I thought last year, I think he was in the URC fullback team of the tournament. As regards the national team, I remember, it is maybe a different philosophy. Warwick is as you know, a high risk, maybe a test level, it's different. He had that test in Wales in Bloemfontein where, he'd spent the whole of the season with us, where we were thinking about were transitions and counter. And I think in that game, maybe they were looking for him to return with a kick first, and he felt a bit alone, and then he tried to fall. So I can understand, as I say, there might be a disconnect there with them. But I think if he keeps going like he is, he'll come back into the frame. It's
interesting him and Fassi being on the same side, or being different.
Yeah, and both have been, I suppose, without being exaggerating, both have been in the national wilderness at various stages. Fassi played himself back in and done really well. But Warwick's a very, I think, and I got something wrong when Gaza did a bit, but he's pretty much done every minute of every game. I suspect there's on tour, there was a time when Damien might have been at 15, but in fact there was. But it's really important to us.
Deon, just personally, just being back, how do you feel, how does it feel to you?
No, it's good to be back. I'm glad I got the first game back last week, 15 minutes under the belt, so that helped a lot. I think this week came nicely through Christmas and stuff, because body was quite sore after that first game after 8 months. Didn't have a lot of training days this week, so I had a lot of time to sit next to the pool in front of the fire and recuperate the body. So that actually helped a lot for this week, and looking forward to this game this weekend as well. I think it will be next step. Sharks is a good side with all these international stars, so looking forward to that now.
I suppose in a game like this, people will also kind of measure you against Sia and measure Sia against you and all that. How does it? Have you still got? Do you think it's realistic for you to still have sort of Springbok ambitions?
Always have that ambition. It'll always be there. As long as you play, you always want to wear the green and gold. And me and Sia, we've come a long road. Known him since he arrived here at Stormers at Western Province, and spoke to him last week Friday. He phoned me and said congrats on getting back after injury. So we're still in contact. Great guy. Looking forward to play against him again. So I'm looking forward to the game.
In terms of your another MVP player, Leo Zas, he was obviously top scorer of the last 3 seasons. Just what's the extent of injury? He's not in the starting lineup. Sinatla's there, so is he out for quite long?
No, hopefully he's back for sale. It's a grade 1 hamstring, so 2 to 3 weeks, which will put him on the edge for sale. Also the wing, that's the hamstring. If it was Deon, we wouldn't worry so much. But with the wing, it's. So he'll be back for the next game, I think.
Just speaking about Sia, we've seen the rumours about Sia Kolisi. Dobbo, could you give us some bit of clarity about Nkulu and Sia Kolisi and Kobus Reinach perhaps as well, if all 3 of them are joining, or what are you guys negotiations?
This wouldn't be the forum for that. Those are exactly. I think if you're in negotiations about something, then to say, then to sort of prematurely announce something would be detrimental to negotiations. No, I think it's pretty much common. It's out there that Sia might be interested in a move back, and it's something we'd entertain. But he's under contract with the Sharks, so the first conversation is if they were prepared to, if Sia would like to join us, that would be something between him and the Sharks. He's got a contract there that we'd respect, So we we didn't approach Sia and say, please come to these. We'd respect. We've got a great relationship with the Sharks. And so that's up to him. And as regards the other two, yeah, we'll see how that goes. That I'll leave up to Mike to free. So.
Thanks, Tom.
Coach, you mentioned that there's certain areas that you want to improve. We saw what happened the last time we were at the Shark Tank. If you can just elaborate on those areas, and then also the continuity. Does that play a part in getting those areas improved?
Yeah, the continuity. I mean, there was largely it was a clear sort of strategy. Makes it sound cleverer than it was. It was a clear policy for this week, just given the short training week, and all the disruptions. So we try and keep the team as much as we can. If I'm trying to think back to the Shark, because there's been so many games in between. What are the issues in Durban? I'm trying to remember.
Timo?
Disallowed try.
Disallowed try. No, listen, we got caught. We definitely got caught in backfield a lot. Which led to a couple of tries. I think if I remember that correctly, our scrum was excellent, but in broken play and getting caught in backfield,
Lots of mistakes.
yeah, that's mistakes. Yeah, so it's hard to say we're going to work on on mistakes. But yeah, the scrum was excellent, but the learning there was a lot around game management, where we were playing. I thought they got off our areas, and we're traditionally a team that capitalised on other areas, on other teams' areas. I think that was better last week, and it's the same team.
Speaking of that game, though, you did get to a stage in that game where you were almost like the only team on the field. You got complete control over that game. And what is the? I know that's almost like a bizarre statement because you lost the game, but it sort of did, for me, end there. And maybe if the game had gone on another 5 or 10 minutes, who knows? But what do you think is the what you can take from that game that you did right, that you can?
Yeah, look, I thought. Well, another thing that's improved since, which wasn't perfect that game, is our maul, which I think if you're scoring maul, I think that's good. That's I think obviously the scrum was exceptional that afternoon. I still find it. Let me not care. And hopefully we get properly rewarded for it. Because I think a guy like Alistair Vermaak is one of the most respected. Anybody who's played in the professional circuit in South Africa knows what a good scrummager Alistair is. He's a legal scrummager. He did an amazing job that week, and hopefully he gets a chance to do the same this week, if you can read between the lines there.
I think the fight at the end,
Yeah.
that's the thing we lacked in the beginning of the season. Is usually we're a good team in the last 20 minutes. I think in the beginning of the URC, I think we lacked that a bit, and I think that was a kickstart of how we fought back, and almost on the buzzer, we still almost did a 80-meter try to score for the win. So I think the fight of the team really is beginning to pick up like in the old days.
Cool, that's Lorenzo.
And then Deon, just your take on, I think it's Mike, is it 43,000 tickets sold?
As of at the moment, 43,000 and climbing, yeah.
43 and climbing. How does it feel to have the faithful come out, to this match? Because I think, it's also holiday periods. You've got a lot of other talents. How does it feel for you and the team?
No, I think it's good for the region. It's good for the team. It's good for the players as well. I think this is to all the guys out there. This is why we play rugby. Is to fill out stadiums and play in front of them. I think respect to the Sharks as well for what they've been doing the last year. Coming, I think most of the people want to see us playing against the big stars on tomorrow. Funny enough, I was at a wine farm with my son yesterday and said we're playing against the Sharks on Saturday, and said, Umsia will be there, and Evan and Vincent, and he looked at me skew and he's like, no, but that's the Bokke. How are you confused? So he won't come tomorrow because he says he's supporting the Sharks, so he's staying at home tomorrow. But I think that just shows what South Africa wants to see, and what's good and what's building in South Africa is the crowd out there wants to see the two best sides competing against each other, and see Springboks and us competing against them. Kind of looking forward to it. I think it's very healthy for rugby at the moment and for URC. So looking forward to the game.
Just to add to your point, I'd say that people, because I think by this evening it's going to be close to sold out. So I think it's important that we don't want to have a disappointment tomorrow. So people either buy them or get here really early. It's just the practicality. It's if it carries on at this rate, it's going to get sold out. So if you want to get, I don't want people our people are so important to us, making all the effort to get in a taxi in Blue Downs and come here and not get a ticket. So get one today or get in early tomorrow if that's okay. I'm not trying to punt the game. I just think it practically, we've got so many amazing fans, and as this hype carries on, say get them done today or get in early tomorrow.
Yeah, just so last on that question as well. It's the end of the year, it's the last game of the year. If you guys had a conversation about emptying the tank, I know you guys obviously empty the tank every game, but this game in particular, because it's the last game, it's a bit of revenge, and you're shedding Durban, it's a game you should have won. So is there more motivation with just trying to empty the tank and get that final win for the year? It's in and high as well.
Yeah, look, I think we don't want the people of Cape Town to come and watch in their droves like they are tomorrow. And we spoke at the captain's meeting. These are the days of our lives. A lot of guys play rugby. Deon's privileged to play the World Cup final and won one. But I said the All Blacks wouldn't have the same memory of the World Cup final. Now, if we're going to lay on this sort of occasion, we want to make sure that when we look back at it, it's a special, we've got the W. So no, we'll put absolutely everything in tomorrow. I think Deon's point's valid. Edinburgh, we didn't see it, and I thought there was some extenuating circumstances. Glasgow, we didn't see that Stormers fight that we're famous for. And that's, we've seen it. I thought we saw it in Toulon. I thought we saw it it's come back. And that's what we're going to need tomorrow. Yeah, so you're right, we'll leave everything out there tomorrow. No question.
Coach, just lighthearted one here on my side. Are we getting a message from you to walk on the beach as well with some fans? When's that invite coming? I think that the faithful are waiting for you. We can do Constantia. We can do the Alpha.
Constantia Forest type.
Yeah, we can do Alpha. We can do the Alpha.
We can go and collect mushrooms after a good rain. We can go legal mushrooms.
I know a nice walk there close by. Yeah, you just need to get on Twitter or X.
I'm not that.
No pressure.
That's me and a beagle.
Cool, guys. I think we're ready for Nathan. Yes, Nathan.
Firstly, compliments of the season, guys. I've got a couple of questions. Dobbo, earlier in the week, Rito said there was concerns over Zassi and Sasha's availability. Must be pleased in a way to have Sasha fit to play.
Yeah, great player. A hip pointer is can be 1 week, can be 3 weeks. I think it's uncomfortable, but he's good to go, and it's a big boost for us. Yeah. I think if he'd stayed on the field last week, the game could have looked different because he was looking absolutely imperious. So I'm pleased he's back.
The last time you faced the Sharks, I said that the Stormers always show up when the back's against the wall. A game went down to the wire. Will it be the same mentality this weekend, Dobbo?
Hopefully not. Can't handle the stress. I'm too old now. So.
We've seen a video of Deon watching the last minutes of that game in Cape Town, of the one in Durban, and he celebrates. My nephew told me he was in Durban in the game at a golf club, and he started celebrating. Started collecting his bets that he'd made, and then the TMO came in. So no, hopefully, I hope. Well, I actually can't remember what's the original question now.
The mentality.
Mentality. So I beg your pardon?
Backs against a wall mentality.
Yeah, look, we said after last week's game against the Lions, we're only half done. These 2 home games are absolutely fundamental to getting us the URC back on track. Last week doesn't ease the pressure at all. It was all about both these games. And last week we're back to the wall, so I'd say the same thing again now. And as Deon suggested, we're playing a team with, just look at their starting pack. There's 6 internationals. They're the sort of big galacticos of South African rugby, and just on that, it means you probably got to have to play above the sum of your parts to win it, which we intend to do.
Dobbo, you've went with forgive me here. Dobbo, you've went for consistency, but obviously with forced injury and included your regulars, Andre Yuhu and Ruben. The Sharks have mixed it up, a side that hasn't trained much together this week. One of the players was in Centurion yesterday commentating a cricket game. Do you feel you have an upper hand in terms of cohesion because the amount of times your side has trained together?
Yeah, listen, this was look. I hear that. I know, and I hear, and I probably completely understand. The Sharks had a hell of a disruptive week last week, so that for them to get that result shows some real resolve. They've grounded out 2 really good local derby wins, shows some character, which shows a lot of character and good coaching and everything like that. But I mean, nobody can pretend this week's a normal week. That they, I've got one of the guys commenting the cricket yesterday. I'm sure with all the teams was a day off. The Wednesday was a day off. You try to compound. You couldn't keep guys in the office till 7 o'clock on Christmas Eve. So it's been a very, very short, unusual week for both teams. Sharks maybe got a bit more experience in that after last week's disruptions, and credit to them for getting that win. It was excellent. But we knowing that this week was going to be so different, we chose to choose the same team as much as far as we could. The Sharks have obviously strengthened their team, so who's got the advantage there? I'm not sure.
Brennas, this one's for you. There are spicy matchups this weekend from Ox and France to Fuss and Boogeyman at the back. Do you feel personally the guys have a lot to prove if they can play and keep up against some of the best in the world?
I don't think there's a lot to prove. I think what to prove is for the squad, for the side to stick to what we have created last week against Alliance. I think we stuck to our guns, we stuck to the structures as well. I think that's personally just my opinion, but I think to prove yourself in the squad at the moment is to stay on task, and I think the rest will fall into place. Hopefully, get the win. I think the duels. I think France and Ox has been scrumming against each other for a long time, so there's nothing new for them between those two. And it's a 50-man game at the end of the day. Yeah.
And then finally, one for you, Dobbo. Dobbo, in the fantasy world, Dobbo, you've always had a soft spot for players wanting to come back and play for the Stormers. Again, in the fantasy world, if it was up to you, would you take Sia back?
No. There's a story for you. No, listen, we've got a journey. I mean, Brenners, we all were with Sia when he joined us in 2010 with that remarkable under-19 team of him, Skara, Eva, Katsi, Katsi, the other team, Frana. No, of course, but as I said, that's a product of the conversations with the Sharks. But, he's a quality guy, great leader, great player. Long history, I'd love to, but that, I say, that's up to him and the Sharks. And then once that box is ticked, then we can see what's in the piggy bank. And that's another discussion.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. See you guys on Saturday.